Now this might be you, or this might be a friend or somebody you know, but I'm sure we all know somebody who is, I'm sorry to say it, but absolutely useless with a wedge in their hand. Like they would rather be 180 yards out than 80 yards because, you know, they bomb their drive and then they make bogey or a double. So if that's you, this is the video for you, or if not, send it to your friend because they probably need to see it. So I think it goes without saying, but chipping is a super important part of golf, but I think it is going to make a big difference for amateurs. And this is especially because amateurs obviously are going to hit less greens than professionals. So for professionals as well, chipping is very important, but because you hit more greens, you don't have to chip as often. So if you're an amateur golfer and you're always missing greens and you can't chip, it's impossible for you to, you know, get a decent score. Whereas if you can chip, you can always save yourself, get yourself up and down. If you're a good wedge player, chances are you're going to be a better putter, at least statistically, because if you chip it close, you're going to have a higher chance of making the putt. Or if you're just giving yourself tap-ins, obviously you're going to make more one putts. So I think that chipping is super important for amateurs. So if you want to improve your game this year, maybe that's something you can focus on your chipping. And I've said this before, but your chipping is basically a smaller version of your full swing. So if you have a good technique with your chipping, it can also translate into the rest of your game, which is gonna just improve your game overall. Well, if you can't make consistent contact with the ball when chipping, then you probably want to work more on your technique first before worrying about distance control. If you want to, you can refer to my previous video that I had about chipping and see if that helps your technique. If you start getting more consistent, then you can start focusing on distance control, which is obviously also a big part of chipping. So first things first, I think you're going to have to determine your chipping tempo. So I want you to kind of feel like you're going to have the same swing speed in every single chip, even though you're going to take a bigger swing or a smaller swing. Like obviously when you take a bigger swing, your swing speed's going to increase, but I just want you to feel like you're having the same tempo or you're giving the same amount of effort. So if you feel like you are giving a 60% tempo or effort when you're chipping just a regular chip, I want you to do that every single time. So with those 3 chips over there, you can see I made the first one, so it hit the hole. But the other 2 chips, I didn't make it, so I actually ended up at the same distance. And I felt like I was using the same chipping tempo for all 3 chips. So if it did not hit the hole, it will probably go around the same distance. See, like you can see those 2 balls are basically right next to each other. Like I said, the other one hit the hole, so it did not go the same distance. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about in terms of distance control. Okay, so for this drill, very simply, I want you to remain the same ball position, same club, same face loft, face angle. Don't try to shut it. Don't try to, you know, put more forward lean on one or whatever. Try to maintain everything the same, and all we're going to do is make our way around the clock. So I'm going to have you start with all the exact same tempo. You're going to go from a smaller chip shot all the way to 9 to 3, and if you want, you can even go bigger if you have that facility where you can chip long chips. So this is one of the drills. I think it's obviously going to take practice. You're going to hit more than one ball, but I'm just going to show you what it looks like with one ball. So for this drill, you can do it on like chip it to a chipping green, or you can just chip it to grass like I'm doing here. I'm going to do it on grass because I want to show you guys that basically what we're working on here is different carry distances of the wedge, so that because every single green that you're going to hit on is going to change. You know, some greens are going to roll out more, some greens are going to roll out less. So that is going to be based on the green. But if you know exactly how far each chip shot is going to carry, that's going to give you a better idea of, like, you know, basically if you have a green that's going to roll out a lot, you know, okay, I'm going to have to carry this and then let it roll out this amount. But if you don't know how far it's going to carry it and then you don't know how far it's going to roll out, it gives you double the amount of trouble. So you just at least need to know one of the information to be able to predict the next part of the information. So if you look at those chip shots, they're all about equidistance from one another. So you can tell, basically every single time I go up from one part of the clock, it goes about, I would say, easily a 5-yard carry difference. So look at that. Let's pace it out. This is the first one. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've reached the second one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've reached the third one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've reached the fourth one. And then obviously the longer of the swing that you take, it's going to go further. So that's also not like full carry because I get hit and it bounced off the ground. But if I marked exactly where it carried, then you can kind of tell what's the difference in the distances. And this is a good way to be able to chip, especially I feel like a lot of people have this in-between distances. So if you work your way through your clubs by doing this, you are definitely going to be able to fill those gaps better, and you're going to be able to take full advantage of all the clubs that you have in your bag. Okay, so you guys might be thinking at this point like, Jen, that is more of a pitch, like that is going at least 50 yards. So you can apply the exact same concept to your chipping on the putting green, like to the putting green or to the hole. It's just an idea of exactly what you're going to try to implement in your golf swing to get some kind of system to know how far each club goes. Also, I need to make it clear, it doesn't have to be like perfect. You don't have to go exactly from 8 to 4. It's more of a feeling. So I will admit this is actually not what I think about at all when I'm chipping. Like I don't go like, okay, I have a 15-yard chip to the hole, I'm going to go 8 to 4 and that's the speed that I'm going to go, etc, etc. But I go off feel, I look at the hole and I kind of hit some practice swings feeling like I'm going to chip to that hole, and I go and chip to the hole. Like I don't think about how far I need to take my backswing or my forward swing. But I think what I'm doing here is based off muscle memory. Like I'm using feel based off my muscle memory because I've practiced enough that my muscle memory knows exactly what a 15-yard chip looks like. So I think that this is a problem with a lot of people, is that they are trying to go based off muscle memory, but they don't have the muscle memory to tell them what it's supposed to do. So if your body doesn't know what a 15-yard chip looks like, telling it to chip a 15-yard chip is not going to happen because it doesn't know what it looks like. So if you practice enough, eventually giving this system and putting this system into your body and being able to get it into muscle memory, eventually you won't have to think about how far you need to chip something or how big of a swing you need to take. It's just going to come naturally, but you need to create a system in order for the muscle memory to be there. So if you guys are thinking, and I know there's already a lot of you guys thinking this, Jen, there's no way I'm going to be spending that much time mastering every single like distance, you know, like that's just, I don't have time for that. Then I'm going to give you a little hack, and the hack is to choose one swing distance, such as, you know, for instance, the 9 to 3, 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and just master that distance. So for instance, if your 9 to 3 with a 60-degree wedge carries 30 yards with that ball position, with that tempo, then you can at least know and have a base of what you can control based off that. So for instance, if you have a 20 yards, you know, okay, well 9 to 3 goes 30, so maybe I should try the 8 to 4. So it's, I mean, obviously it's not going to be 100%, it's not a science, you know, everybody's swing is not going to be so super consistent, especially if you don't practice that much to be like exactly 30 yards carry all the time. But it's important to at least have an idea, which is what I'm trying to give you guys here. So yeah, if you guys don't have time and you want to use this hack, that is something that I would definitely do as well, or at least invest the time to do that, because that is going to immensely help you with your distance control. That's already the hack because you only have to do one versus having to do every single one. Yeah, like I said, it's not a science anyway, so do whatever you feel like you have the time for and that you can commit to. But yeah, I think that it's important to understand that golf is something that you need to invest time in. Like if you want to get better at something, you need to invest time in it anyway. And the more you practice it, the more it's going to be ingrained in your muscle memory, and then you can start playing golf and not having to think about your swing so much, which is obviously going to help you play better. So I hope this tip helps you guys. Hope you guys start chipping better in 2022. Let me know if you guys have something else that you guys are working on this year, something that maybe I could help you with, and let's see how it goes. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.